So in my next level, wide out lineman of videos here, I'm going to have 8 different modules. And right now I'm going to kind of cover them all briefly, and then I'll make 8 different videos that will match to each of these 8 categories. The first is threat and deep. Like every play, run, pass, doesn't matter. We need to make the defender think we're beating them deep. That's their biggest fear, and we need to utilize that fear against them. And the more we can make them think we're going deep, the better. Too many times at all levels, all the way to Sundays, you can watch guys, and when they come off the ball, you automatically know they're not going deep. And the DBs are smart. They know that too. And if they're not worried about getting beat deep, they're going to be better at covering your short, or better at filling for the run, or better at whatever it is that you're not doing because you're not going deep. So if you threaten them deep every play, then when you're going deep, they don't know you're going deep. And when you're doing something other than going deep, you should have a bigger cushion, and you should have a better way you should be more in an advantageous position to get open. So every play we need to threaten deep. And there are exceptions, things like bubble screen, running under routes across the field, drag routes, things that you need to release horizontally versus release vertical down the field. But for the most part, every play we want to threaten them deep. That's number 1. Number 2, and this is my favorite one, and I'll probably make that video first, is be reliable for the QB. Like, you don't get the ball unless the QB throws it to you. So what can you do that's going to help that QB be better at throwing it to you? One of my favorite receivers in the league, there's a few of them. Keenan Allen's one of them, but Davante Adams is incredible. And one of the things I love about Davante Adams is, first off, he's got a very cerebral quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron knows what he wants and when he wants it and how to get there. But Davante is really good about doing things that's going to help Aaron Rodgers be a better quarterback. And I think there's a lot of times you're going to find, I'm going to use NFL guys because they get paid so they can handle me, saying something that they're not doing perfect or whatever. But if I do that to college guys, that's not very fair. So I'm not going to do that. But one of the things you look at is like a Nelson Aguilar, who now plays for the Las Vegas Raiders. It still sounds weird saying that, and used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, any Eagles fan or anybody who's followed the Eagles will tell you that he was a bust in Philadelphia. He wasn't very good, but now he's at Las Vegas, and he's actually having a great season, and he's looking like a better wide receiver. Now, I don't know. I wasn't in the coach's room. I don't know what they're getting taught at each place. But I know Derek Carr is really good, and I believe Carson Wentz is really good too. So I don't think that it's a quarterback change, and I don't think it's a pass game, change, because pass route. There's only so many different concepts we run in the pass game. I do think is he's getting taught how to play the position differently, and that's what's making him better at Las Vegas than he was in Philadelphia. And I think that's a lot of what Philadelphia's problem is. These guys aren't doing these next level things that I'm going to cover here. And, obviously in Las Vegas, they're apparently getting some of that. So that's, I'm not there, I'm not in the room, so I don't know. And I'm definitely not trying to say there's bad coaches in the world, but there are, and I'm not saying that either of those guys is bad. So, but, some of the things that you can do to be more reliable for the QB, always run, every time you run a route for a quarterback, at game speed. Whether there's nobody on the field and it's just you and him, whether you're in a park, a football field, heck, in the parking lot. If you're running a route, it's got to be full speed. If you're not going to run the route full speed and you're just out there to let him throw, then stand. Don't run, because the last thing you need is to mess up the timing. He needs to know that when you're running this route, this is the timing that's going to put you there. And every time you run a route for him, it's got to be at game speed. And if you're not doing that, then stand. If you're imitating a curl, don't half run it for him. Stand there where he would throw it and then catch it. And then after you catch it, tuck it away and break up field. But don't run the route if you're not going to run at full speed. Next, be consistent. Every time you run a route, run it at the same depth, the same speed, the same amount of effort every time. Be consistent. You've got to be able to rely on you. You see quarterbacks lay into wide receivers, especially on Sundays for, Tom Brady's very, one of the ones that's, and Aaron Rodgers also. I don't think I've seen it with Aaron Rodgers, but I know he does it. But if you're not at the right depth, if you're not in the right spot where they expect you, they don't like it, and they're not going to throw you the ball. So you got to be at the right depth. You got to run it full speed again, and you got to have full effort on everything. Now, that also goes with the concepts. Like if you're running a route and it's a 14-yard route, and you run it at 10, and there's a route coming underneath you, you're messing that concept up. So you're also hurting your offensive coordinator, not just your quarterback. So make sure that you run the right depths, the right angles. Like, for example, if you're running a dig, you don't want to break it at, say, 12 or 14 and then drift to 17 as you come across the field. What you want to do is break it at 12 to 14, whatever depth that route's supposed to be run at, and then you keep it flat. I like to call it 89 degrees. You're not square, you're making a right angle, but you're almost working back to the quarterback just a little bit, because again, you're trying to create separation from that DB, and if the DB's behind you and you're working back to the quarterback, it's basically a foot race to the ball. Now, hopefully, if you've got the leverage, which is one of the other things we'll get to, then he's got to go through you to get to the ball, but as soon as you start to drift, it doesn't have to go through you, come underneath you, and that happens a lot. And we'll talk about that on slants and digs and even outs where that becomes a problem. And then by the quarterback grass, if you're running a corner, the farther in you can get to break, and when you break that corner, the better off you're going to be. Now, if you get too far in that the DB stays outside of you and you break the corner and the DB's outside of you with the wrong leverage, which is one of the ones we're going to cover here, then that's a bad thing. But as far as you can push that, say you got a safety, you're a slot guy, and you're running a smash. We got a curl on the outside and a corner on the inside. And if I can take that inside route and I can push in 2 yards, 3 yards, and then drive up on the corner and then get the outside leverage on him. So I'm here going this way, and he's on this side of me, so I'm working away from him. But I've got 3 extra yards of grass before I get to the sidelines. That helps the quarterback. Same thing on dig. If I can buy 2 yards of grass on the outside, I can do that on a stem on the release. I can do it at the top of the route as I work up the field. At the very end, I can break like I'm going to corner, then stick my foot in the ground and come. I bought 2 yards of grass there too. For the inside, because now I'm running an inside like a dig or a slant or something like that, or even a post, and there's going to be somebody on the inside waiting for me, whether it's a linebacker dropping or a free safety waiting for me on a post, or it could be anything, a defensive end dropping, it could be whatever. But if I get that 2 extra yards of grass that are between me and that defender, that helps that quarterback there too. I'm really getting too deep into that, but that's be reliable for the QB, and I love that. And then always protect against the interception, right? We got to make sure that when that ball's in the air, like, it's either ours or it's nobody's. I'm not going to let him get intercepted. If that ball's intercepted on a ball that's thrown my direction, it's as much my fault as it is his fault. So I got to find a way. I don't just give up. I go, and if I have to play defense, I play defense. If I have to pass interference to guy, I pass interference to guy. I'd rather take a 10, 15-yard penalty than take an interception where they have the ball going the other way. So do what you got to do. Make sure that ball is intercepted. And one I skipped here, but is always assume you're getting the ball. This should go without any. I shouldn't even need to explain this. But if you know you're the third or fourth option on this route, and you run at half speed, and that quarterback comes 1-2, and now he looks back for you, and you're not where he's at, or you're jogging, he may never look for you again. So don't be that guy. Like, run every route full speed. If you can't run every route of a game, 70, 80 plays in a game, full speed, then you need to work on your conditioning, and most of the time receivers are trading off anyway. But be the guy that can run 70, 80 times full speed and not fall off. One of the things I hear about Jerry Rice is that he wasn't very fast. He was a 4.6 40 guy. Yeah, but he was a 4.6 40 for 40s. On his first one and his 40th, 50th one, he's still running a 4.6. Too many guys are 4.4 guys on the first one, and then at the end of the game, they're 4.7, 4.8 guys. No. Be able to run the same thing all the time. And that just takes, that's your work ethic, and that's also your drive internal to want to be great. So that's be reliable for the QB is my second section. My third section is, we talked a little bit about it, is own leverage, right? At the point of the catch, we want the ball, you, and the defender on the opposite. So I call it ball, me, man position on every play. Fades, slants, outs, digs, every route. I want to catch the ball with my body between the ball and the defender, so he's got to go through me to get to the ball. And own that leverage, that's the catch point leverage, and I call it ball me man. I also want to own that leverage on breaks. If I'm running a dig or I'm running a slant, I want to make sure that I'm on the inside when I break. So I can give whatever move I need at the line of scrimmage, drive off, but when I make that break, I'm inside leverage. so that I have the position that when the ball comes, now I have ball me man. Now, if he's on my inside and I'm running an inside route and I break, quarterback can't throw it to me. There's nowhere to throw it. So at that point, at the top of the route, if you can't get, I call it break point leverage, we're going on the right side of the way you want to go, then what you need to do is a throw by. And in order to do a throw by, you sink your hips, you throw him by and you slip underneath him and replace him, so now you have the right leverage. In order to do that, and we'll get into more detail down the road, but in one of the next videos, but you make sure you have to have contact with him. If I'm far spread from him where I can't touch him and I want to do a throw by, I'm relying on him thinking I'm going deep and keep going when I cut underneath him. I'm relying on him being wrong versus me being able to play physical, throw him by, and work my way in. If he's right next to me where I can get my hand on him, I can throw him by and force him by and use his body and my arm to push as well as my legs to drive inside of him and get everything I got to work my way inside. And there's ways to do it. You can't straighten your arm. You're going to get a PI. You got to keep your arm, elbow bent. And if the lower on the body you go, I like to say get them on the hip, the better chance you are of not getting called. As soon as you put it up on their shoulder pad, easy to see by the ref, called all the time. Put it low on his hip and drive him, much harder to see, much more incognito, much more hidden, and you're able to do that. So own that. That's breakpoint leverage. I can do a 3-hour video just on breakpoint leverage and ball me man position on different things, but that's number 3. Number 4 is play smarter. Like, don't just be the guy they tell you what to run, you go and you run it. Like, know everything. Know the formation rules. Know that who's eligible to go on a pass route, and make sure that every time, every snap, that's right, especially on your side of the ball. But across the whole field, you should be able to know that. You should know that there needs to be 2 receivers on the ball, whether it's a tight end and a receiver or running back and a receiver, but 2 people that you think are receivers need to be on the ball. And unless there's obviously the times where you have extra linemen and there's some, 5% of the time there's trick plays and stuff that you might find, but on a typical play, there needs to be 2 people on the ball. One on the left of the ball and one on the right of the ball. And only the dudes that are on the line of scrimmage, the farthest from the ball, are eligible. 2 guys on the same side of the ball are on the line of scrimmage, the guy on the inside is not eligible. So the eligibility rules there are the farthest guy on the left that's on the ball, the farthest guy on the right that's on the ball are eligible. Nobody else on the ball is eligible. And then everybody that's in the backfield, including the quarterback, is eligible. So other receivers, running backs, tight ends that are off the line, the quarterback, everybody that's off the line of scrimmage is eligible. Farthest guy on the left of the line, farthest guy on the right of the line. Make sure that's right. If you know it's a pass play and 2 of you are on the same side on the line of scrimmage, communicate, fix that. Be the guy that knows that's wrong and fix it. All right? Talk to each other, communicate, fix it. Don't fix it right before the snap. Fix it immediately. Like, you get the play, boom, I know. When I'm looking at the lineup, as soon as someone's set, I'm like, no, one of us got to be off. Get off. And you got plenty of time. Quarterback tries to fix that. But don't always rely on the quarterback. You should be able to manage that yourself as well. So know the rules. And then know how to catch the ball. Know what constitutes a catch. Catch it, secure it through the fall, through the ground, 2 feet down, make an athletic move. Know those rules. Know pass interference rules. Know how to, what is pass interference. Know that if I'm running a deep ball and it's a short throw, I've got 2 options. 1, make a move, get back to the ball and catch it. 2, plant, go right through the defender so that he runs into me, right? And I get a pass interference call. Know that is a weapon. I know I can't get to that ball, but if I plant right now and drive back into this guy like I'm going for the ball, and he runs into me because he's not looking back, I get pass interference, first down. Be the smarter wide receiver. And then know your opponent. Know what techniques they're good at, what techniques they're not good at. Know the coverages, who's responsible for what in every coverage, where the weaknesses are, what's good, what they have covered really well with it, and then how to beat that, how to use those areas, especially like in zones, which areas you're going to be looking for, and if you're in that area, how to utilize that area well, right? And definitely some things there that if you educate yourself and play smart, it's going to make you a better wide receiver. Then have a plan. So you get a call, right? You see it, whether it's signaled or called in the huddle or whatever, but immediately the first thing that you do is figure out, what your job is, where you need to line up and all that stuff, and then you get out there, and on the way there, you're thinking, what's my plan? All right, he's walked up. He's been walking up on me all day. First thing is, if he's walked up on you all day, every run play, every other play, you need to be working on releases. You need to know, I can beat him outside with this release. I can beat him inside with that release. You know, he's press bailing half the time. You know what's working because you've been working on it all game, so you know what your plan is. So now I have a plan. All right, he's pressing me. He's taking away my inside. I'm running a slant. What's my plan? Am I going to give him a move at the line of scrimmage and then get inside, press up the field, then break it off? Or am I going to sell go vertical, right, for 3 steps? He turns the run with me, and then I do a throw by and I come underneath him on a slant. What's my plan? But have a plan, and then the best people will have not only their plan, but then they'll have, okay, he bails on me, now what do I do? They'll have a backup plan, and then a backup to the backup plan. The better, the more you do it, the more you start thinking plans in your head when you get to the line of scrimmage, the better you're going to be at having a secondary plan and even a third plan that you can utilize. And then the best players can change their plan mid-route. They just change it right off the bat. So have a plan. The next thing that we'll cover is be a complete player, right? Be a complete player. Like, we're always catching the ball. Catching the ball, not catching the ball, there's no exception. We're wide receivers. Catching the ball is job number 1. If you can't catch the ball, time to find a new position. So find a way to catch a ball. The best way to do that is catch 100, 150, 200 balls every day, 365 days a year. They don't need to be long balls. You can stand 5 feet from somebody. I do it at about 4 yards. I get across from a guy. Did this every day that while I was playing, and I have every receiver that I've ever worked with. I have do this, and you catch. I've had girlfriends, teammates, my dad, anybody stand 4 yards from you, throw you 10 high balls, catch them, put them away. Throw you 10 low balls, catch them, put them away. 10 right hand, 10 left hand. Right? 10 standing to the right, 10 standing to the left, 10 over the shoulder to the right, 10 over the shoulder to the left, right? And then bad balls. And just 10, 20 balls, whatever you have time for, you can get that in 10 minutes. But if you do that every day, you're catching so many balls that catching a ball is not going to be difficult. Now, the trick is a lot of guys will do that, but they're not focused on that. They're doing that, they're having a conversation, they're listening to the radio, they're watching TV. No. When you're doing it, it's about catching the ball. We catch the ball with 4 things. All right? What 4 things? A lot of times I ask my guys, what 4 things do we catch a ball with? And I say my hands, and my forearms, all kinds of ideas. But the 4 things we catch a ball on, the first 2 are our eyes. We can't catch it if we can't see it. I can't be looking upfield. I can't be looking at the quarterback. I can't be looking at the defender. I can't be looking at where I'm going to put my feet on the ground. I got to be looking at the ball. The first 2 are our eyes. The second 2 are our hands. We always catch it with 4 things. 2 eyes, 2 hands. Catch the ball. That's the easiest part of the job. Should be no question that we can catch the ball, right? Second is back to being reliable for the quarterback. Run consistent routes, run good routes, run smart routes, right? It goes back to some of the other things that we've already talked about, right? Do that, right? And then the third thing about being a complete player is be a team player. Block, block, block. Don't let your guy be the guy that makes the tackle. Block. Be a blocker. My favorite, Hines Ward. A lot of guys right now that I've been coaching won't even know who Hines Ward is. But look up Hines Ward from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe he was a Georgia Bulldog. Dude was an animal. Every time that guy blocked, he was awesome. Awesome blocker. So look him up. I'm sure there's YouTube videos. Find Hines Ward. Look him up. But most importantly, just blocking is about effort. Know where the ball's going. So I know it's going outside, it's going inside, whatever it is, know where the ball's going. Get your body between the guy you want to block and the ball, and then compete. You got to just be a competitor, right? And then lead by example and lead by encouragement, right? Be the hardest working dude out there. Be the first one to practice. Be the guy that's begging the quarterbacks to throw you more balls. Be the guy that's asking other receivers to do the ball drill, catch balls with you every day. Jugs machine, lead by that. Be that guy, right? You shouldn't have to say anything. But if you do say something, encourage. Right? It's real easy. The quarterback's a leader. It's real easy for them to sometimes snap on their players and tell, kind of direct traffic. But as a receiver, you need to be more of an encourager, right? All right, you're not catching the ball. Then one of the other receivers dropping the balls in the games or whatever. Right? You can get all on them and make it worse. Or you can say, look, we catch it with 4 things. Get our eyes on it. Let's see it. Let's see. If you can see it, you're going to catch it. I know you can catch it. Be an encourager, and you'll help other players be better. And if you make other players better, makes you better, the team better. Winning more games is always more fun than losing games. So encourage. The next thing is compete. We talked a little bit about it on the blocking, but have the mindset that my guy is never going to make the tackle. He's not going to make the tackle. It's just not going to happen. So I'm blocking this guy or that guy, or most dangerous man. I come off the ball and I'm looking at the safety, trying to run the corner off, and I'm going to block the most dangerous man. That guy, whoever it is, he's not making the tackle. Someone else can make a tackle, but not my guy. Be that kind of guy. Be a competitor, right? Every play, expect that, right? Every ball that's thrown in your direction needs to be catchable. Like the quarterback doesn't throw bad balls. He throws them in our direction. He's going to throw them in, and yep, they do throw bad balls, but not in our mind. If he's throwing it at me in my area, I'm going to find a way to catch it. Be that guy. Be the guy that makes the quarterback look good because you find a way. Like when that ball gets in the air, like you don't get that many opportunities. Believe in it that it's catchable. What do I got to do in my life that's going to help me get to that ball and catch it and find a way to do it? And then 50-50 balls, I hate that term. Like you may never hear me say 50-50 again. Because that 50-50 balls, like the jump balls or balls that you're tightly contested, and they better not be 50-50. If you're 50-50 on that, I'm not throwing it to you as a quarterback. You better be a lot better than that. Compete. It's you and that defender battling for that ball. Be the guy. Don't let him beat you. Compete. Like if you don't come down with it, that's a problem. Like you should be upset with yourself. Like that quarterback trusted you to catch that ball. Be the guy. Catch it. Don't let that ball hit the ground, and definitely don't let that guy catch the ball. Compete, use your body, get ball man position, fight for it, catch it, put it away, secure it. Do whatever it takes to catch the ball. Compete, right? And the ball is life. Talked about it, and this is kind of everything. I call it the ball is life because without the ball, we can't win, right? If we have the ball, if they don't throw it to us, then we're not going to do what we want to do out there. We can't help our team win as much. We can definitely block, but we want the ball. So if it's thrown our way, catch it. Like we got to catch it. If you can't catch it again, find another position, right? So the ball, like catch everything, catch it. Don't drop it. And you should be able to go a whole career without dropping a ball. It's going to happen. People drop balls. Everybody does it. But for the most part, every ball, we got to catch it. And if we're not catching it, it's the reasons are pretty simple. We're not seeing it, or we're not catching enough balls. Those are the only two reasons we don't catch balls. So catch everything. That's what matters to us. And if we can't catch, find another position. Next, protect the ball. Once we catch it, we now need to become a running back. We may get a really good wide receiver. We'll get 4 to 9, 10 catches a game. So we only get a few touches. When we get those touches, we need to protect that ball. Turnovers lose games. There's no bigger stat in the game of football that's going to cause your team to lose more than turnovers. The team that has the most turnovers is going to win. The most turnovers that they take the ball away. The team that turns the ball over the most is going to lose. It's something like 80%. It's a ridiculous amount of percentage. Don't need to know that. That's not important. What we do need to know is once we get the ball, we secure it. We do not let that ball get away from our body. No matter what we're doing, every drill we do, we have that ball secured. All practice, whether you're out there by yourself, just running, doing, not my favorite thing, but doing ropes or working on cones. If you have a ball in your hand, that ball's secured. As soon as that ball comes away from your body and you've only got it in your hand and your arm, you're more apt to fumble. We need to secure that ball. Lock it down to our body. We're going in to make contact. We know I've made my moves. I've got nothing, but I got nothing left. I'm going to get hit right here. I'm going to get tackled. 2 hands to the body, other hand on top. Secure it to the ground. We don't fumble. That doesn't happen. No bigger way to get taken off the football field than fumbling, losing the ball. Catch the ball, secure the ball, take care of the ball. The ball is life. So those are my main, 8 things that are going to separate you as a wide receiver other than the basics. Like obviously you need to be, you don't need to be fast, but being faster is good. Being stronger is good. Having a good stance to start, that's great. Catching the, all these different things that make a great wide receiver. But these little things that we're talking about here, I like to call them the next level. It's going to develop the next level wide receiver by utilizing these things. And in my video series, you're going to see lots of examples of guys doing this, and we're going to talk through how to utilize these 8 things and make the most of them to make us a complete wide receiver and make you play a level above what your ability is. And if you've got incredible athletic ability and you're able to dominate in high school just because you're the best athlete on the field, that's great. But eventually, you're going to run up against somebody who's as good an athlete as you, and the person who has all these intangibles that we're talking about here, by playing smarter, by threatening them deep, by, by having proper leverage, by catching the ball me man. All these things that if you can build those into your repertoire, let's say, into your toolbox, then you're going to be able to beat that guy that's equally as good an athlete as you. And trust me, if you play this game, and most every receiver I talk to at the college level thinks they want to play on Sundays, if you want to do that, the guys you're playing against, and even at the college level, the guys you're playing against are going to be as good an athlete as you. If you're a 5-star, well, guess what? Eventually you're going to play against a 5-star. And you're a 4-star, you're going to play against 4 and 5 stars. If you're no star, you're going to play against all those guys. But if you have these intangibles, these things that we're talking about built into your game, then you're going to be able to go in with less athletic ability and beat guys with better athletic ability than you. And these are the things that we're going to go over at Whiteout U. And we'll use video from players. We'll definitely get up on the whiteboard and do some things on there. And this isn't, they're not fancy videos, not professionally made. I'm just me and my webcam here and talking about the things that I like to teach my receivers that are going to help you develop your game to the next level.